The 1985 San Francisco 49ers encountered a maze of dark passageways and dim corridors before finding their way clear to the playoffs. In losing 4 of their first 7 games, the 49ers' famed discipline gave way to disorientation. The call to glory they had answered so many times before had seemingly become a garbled message. Unexpected defeats forced the 49ers to question themselves and to assess the cost of winning a world championship.
The sacrifice physically, the commitment emotionally and psychologically, it can spend you. And then spending just a few months and coming back and expecting to make the exact same sacrifice, it's very difficult.
There's so much that's expected from a Super Bowl team that maybe everybody sets those parameters a little bit beyond their reach.
But even while the Niners were feeling the heat, they kept their cool.
I think our biggest mistake would be to overreact to every little thing that went wrong, or even overreact to losses that you'd never expected to take. You simply have to continue to work and expect that in the final analysis, the approach that we take to the game and with our players will be the difference.
The talent and heart of these players fueled a dramatic turnaround. In 1985, the San Francisco 49ers would stand united and fight adversity. And once that fight was underway, they would never lose faith in themselves, and they would never surrender. On the NFL's mean streets, the 49ers occasionally stalled, but they never broke down. Throughout 1985, the parts that had powered them to a world championship remained in working order. Amidst their shaky start, the Niners demonstrated their championship form by smashing Atlanta twice. And against the Raiders in Week 3, they produced 9 sacks and a fumble return for a touchdown by Milt McCall, number 53. A 34-10 victory served to demonstrate that this team was still a powerhouse that rested firmly upon a rock-solid foundation. The cornerstone of this foundation is a winning philosophy that begins in the 49ers front office.
In order, I think, to be successful in the NFL in this day and age, you must maintain and have continuity.
Bill Walsh and his outstanding coaching staff have ensured the kind of continuity that has produced 4 playoff berths in the last 5 seasons. Another basis for the 49ers' success is a nucleus of dependable veterans. In a high-voltage offense, the power station is a line that boasts over 40 years of combined NFL experience. It consists of Pro Bowl center Fred Quillen, Keith Farnhorst, Randy Cross, John Ayers, number 68, and Bubba Paris, number 77. This unit emphasizes timing and teamwork to create running lanes and provide solid pass protection. And their individual ability to take out defenders in one-on-one situations is typified by Cross, number 51. In this reliable offense, Wendell Tyler, number 26, could be counted on to extricate himself from gridlock and find the fast lane to the end zone. The Niners could also depend on reserve quarterback Matt Cavanaugh, number 6, to replace an injured Joe Montana and engineer victory. Proven pass catchers like tight end Russ Francis, number 81, and wide receiver Freddie Solomon lent their veteran savvy to the NFC's top-ranked offense. Freddie announced his retirement in 1985, and the vital role that he played in the 49ers' return to prominence during the 80s will never be forgotten. Familiar faces also provided the defense with the look of experience. In a unit that cast a cold eye at opponents, inside linebacker Ricky Ellison, number 50, topped the team in tackles. While Ellison battered ball carriers, outside man Keena Turner, number 58, punished passers. Quarterbacks were also tripped up by Jeff Stover, number 72, and trampled by Manu Tuiasosopo, number 78. Underrated Dwayne Board, number 76, has long been the mainstay of the 49ers' pass rush, and he was the team's sack leader in 1985. Board's effectiveness in cornering quarterbacks was mirrored by Dwight Hicks' time-tested ability to ravage receivers. Ronnie Lott was explosive enough to torpedo past a convoy and sink a screen pass. Lott also led the club with 6 interceptions, and starting Pro Bowl safety Carlton Williamson, number 27, was another opportunistic member of a veteran-dominated defense that was the NFL's second toughest to score on in 1985. In Week 8, it was defense that helped topple the Los Angeles Rams from the ranks of the undefeated. While the Rams were shut out during the first half, the Niners scored on 4 of their first 5 possessions.
Back to pass, Montana fakes once, throws into the corner to Clark. He's got it. Touchdown, 49ers! Lone set back is Craig. Here's Montana giving it off to Craig. He darts left, comes back right, past the 10, past the 5, and battles his way to the end zone. It's a touchdown, 49ers!
A 28-14 victory evened the 49ers' record at 4-4. A turnaround was underway, but few of the team's remaining contests would be resolved as easily as this one. In Week 10, a visit to Denver seemed like a chapter torn from a Stephen King horror novel. In this bizarre contest, the 49ers were haunted by mistakes and missed opportunities. On this fright night, the Niners eventually assumed a 16-14 advantage, but their lead evaporated in the frosty gloom. A pass interference penalty called on Dwight Hicks gave the Broncos 42 yards and set up their 17-16 victory. But despite this Monday nightmare, the 49ers refused to be enveloped by the cold breath of adversity. And 1 week later at Candlestick Park, they again displayed their winning touch. The hands-on approach of the defense kept Kansas City, Seattle, and Washington out of the end zone in 3 straight victories.
Crowd yelling for a safety here as Craig is ready. He has the ball, hands it off. Warner. Oh, brother, he's hit at the goal line. We'll see what they're going to call safety. It's 2 points for San Francisco. And we're ready for action at RFK Stadium. 2 clubs, playoff hungry, and needing a win here today. Here's Cox ready. Gets his kick away. It's coming down. Carl Monroe up the middle to the 10, the 15, up to the 20. Breaks to the onside. 25. He's to the 30. Eludes another man. He's past the 40. He's past the 50. He's on his way to the 40.
On the game-opening kickoff, Carl Monroe outran the Redskins. Then the defense out-hit them. Keena Turner's touchdown highlighted a 35-8 win that improved the 49ers' record to 8-5. Once 4 games behind in the NFC West, the Niners now trailed the Rams by a single game. The resurgence was the result of total team effort, but throughout the season, 3 unique individual performers also commanded attention. This trio of Pro Bowl starters consisted of a running back who made NFL history, the NFC's leading passer, and a cagey cornerback who spun a web that lulled receivers into thinking that if they could get a step on him, they could beat him to the ball. But rare is the receiver who can catch a pass when number 21, Eric Wright, is the coverage man. While Eric Wright made outstanding athletic plays on defense, Joe Montana made them on offense. Montana's 27 touchdown passes stood as a conference high for 1985. Although Joe hit a few sour notes during the season, this virtuoso's arm was usually in tune, and he conducted an offense that reached soaring crescendos. Another key contributor to the NFC's second highest scoring attack was a high-stepping runner named Roger Craig. In rushing for over 1,000 yards, Craig was powered by knees that appeared capable of touching the sky. The graceful Craig often seemed to be running on 4 legs instead of 2.
I would have to say I run like a gazelle. Nice, smooth strides and high knee action.
It's just a characteristic of Roger's running. It's not necessarily related to some kind of practices or work that he's done on the side or in the off-season. He just has a running style that to me is most reminiscent of a great back of many, many years ago, Hugh McElhaney. He's a slashing type runner. So if we can develop plays in which the defenders are moving laterally, Roger starts laterally, then breaks back through that pursuit. We are taking full advantage of his ability.
Craig's 15 touchdowns were the NFL's second highest total, and his league-leading 92 receptions enabled this marvelous multi-purpose back to become the first man in pro football annals to ever gain 1,000 yards receiving as well as 1,000 yards rushing.
Roger just is so great after the catch. His fine receiving, but his running ability one-on-one in the open field is so outstanding that you find ways from that point to get him open. Roger can take the ball deep or short and can run excellent pass patterns.
Roger's teammates voted him the Len Eschmont Award in 1985, and this kind of respect motivates one of the game's rising stars.
Now, I don't ever want to let my teammates down because they mean a lot to me. The camaraderie of our players is phenomenal of how we communicate with each other.
The 49ers' respect for one another helped them fight back from early disappointments and become a playoff contender. Their unity would enable them to respond to the even tougher challenges that would confront them in the season's final and most crucial 3 games. In the 40th season of the franchise, two men rewrote team history. Place kicker Ray Wershing became the 49ers' all-time leading scorer, and Dwight Clark took his place as San Francisco's most prolific pass catcher. Clark achieved a personal best 10 touchdowns, while extending his receiving streak to 88 consecutive games. In Week 12, Dwight reached for the sky and came down with a piece of 49er history.
Montana's ready. He's going back to pass. Looks to the right. Throws in the right corner. And Clark with a leaping catch. Has it for a touchdown. 49ers! Dwight Clark has become the all-time career receiver for the 49ers. And listen to this crowd.
Dwight Clark embodies the 49ers' long-standing tradition of quality. A tradition that is certain to be continued by the second-year pros who comprise the team's class of '84. At the head of the class is nose tackle Michael Carter, number 95, a Pro Bowl selection after just 9 regular season starts in 2 years. Nickelback Jeff Fuller, number 49, was a tenacious blitzer, and his open field tackles could have registered on a Richter scale. Starting outside linebacker Todd Shell, number 90, rounded out this talented trio of second-year defenders. The rapid development of these youngsters is due in large measure to a top-notch coaching staff.
I've been very impressed with the intelligence of this group and their willingness to study off the field as well as on.
On offense, number 24, Derek Harmon, was a solid replacement for an injured Wendell Tyler, as well as an outstanding special teams player. Number 86, John Frank's continued development suggests that he will likely be the team's tight end of the future. As a member of the punt and kickoff units, number 62, Guy McIntyre, seized upon every opportunity to contribute. These young players offer 6 good reasons why 1984 was one of the most productive drafting years in recent team history. 1985's top pick was wide receiver Jerry Rice. From the moment Rice arrived at summer camp, he displayed talent and confidence.
When the 49ers drafted me, it was like a dream come true. I always want to be a part of the Super Bowl champs, and this is my opportunity, and I'm definitely going to take advantage of it.
In the season's early stages, the bright spotlight that shone on Rice seemed to blind him. But once he overcame his stage fright, it was apparent that he possessed an abundance of star quality. Rice earned NFC Rookie of the Year honors on the basis of a late season surge in which he produced over 400 yards in the final 3 games. Against the Rams in a showdown for the NFC West lead, Rice electrified a Monday night television audience by catching 10 passes for a team record 241 yards. But after Jerry Rice lifted the 49ers into orbit, they suffered a crash landing on the dark side of the moon. In a contest that could have passed for a Twilight Zone rerun, bad breaks and bizarre bounces erased the 49ers' 4th period lead and ruined their last chance of tying the Rams for first in the division. The 27-20 defeat was the kind of loss that can cause a team to raise the white flag on a season. The following week in New Orleans, the Niners still seemed shell-shocked as they trailed the Saints at halftime. But the spirit that had been sagging soon began to soar.
Play action fake, throws to Wilson, got it, broke a tackle, the 35 to 30. And Wilson goes in for a touchdown, 49ers. San Francisco down by 2 points. Montana ready, pass thrown, caught by Francis. He's at the 10, the 5. He's down to the goal line, he's in for a touchdown, 49ers.
This 31-19 victory set up a must-win confrontation with Dallas. But against the Cowboys, the 49ers' hopes for a wild card berth were threatened by early mistakes. Dallas took a quick 13-0 lead. And in a season that resembled an old-time movie serial, the Niners were once again in danger of losing their grip and falling off the cliff. But this lip-chewing, nail-biting scenario had a happy ending.
There goes Montana back to pass. Looks downfield, good protection, throwing deep. Over Niners Park. He's got the 10, the 5. Touchdown, 49ers!
A third-period interception by Dwight Hicks set up the go-ahead touchdown. After Roger Craig refused to surrender his ground, the 49ers were well on the way to their 7th win in their last 9 games, as Dallas was shut out in the second half.
Here's a handoff to Harmon, and a reverse gives it off to Rice. Rice running the ball, one-on-one. He beats him at the 20, the 15, down the 10. He's at the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers!
A season that had begun beneath clouds of uncertainty ended in no uncertain terms. The 49ers' 31-16 victory secured their 4th playoff berth in the last 5 seasons. Although they would not repeat as world champions, the San Francisco 49ers remained one of pro football's finest teams by demonstrating that when the pressure is greatest, they will come out fighting and never surrender.